Welcome back to the Weekly Education Pulse. I'm Sammy.
And I'm Tony. Each week we break down the key developments shaping the international and independent school sector.
Yeah, this week, 5 stories that are really about one underlying question. Not where schools are opening, but how they're being built, funded and sustained.
2 stories from the same operator entering 2 new countries in very different ways. A landmark investment in Abu Dhabi, financial infrastructure story from the US Christian school sector, and the London headquartered group adding to its Southeast Asia footprint.
Yeah, different models, same underlying challenge, building something that lasts. So let's get into it.
We begin in Tbilisi, where GEMS School Management, the advisory and operations arm of GEMS Education, has signed a pre-operational agreement with Omnia Georgia, a real estate developer, to develop a flagship international school in the city.
Yeah, opening September 2029, ages 3 to 18. GEMS School Management hasn't confirmed the curriculum yet. They just said it's international, which in its other markets usually mean it's going to be British or IB.
The location follows a familiar pattern. The school sits at the heart of Omnia Isani, the developer's flagship master planned community in Tbilisi Isani district. Education built directly into a residential development, the same model we've seen across the Gulf.
Yeah, and the numbers explain the appetite. Georgia's education sector is already valued at more than $3 billion. That's around 7% of GDP. And private enrollment is predicted to rise from 66,500 students in 2024 to roughly 73,000 by 2028 to 2029.
Under the deal, they will deliver a turnkey Aspire model, design, curriculum, recruitment, safeguarding, technology and operations, while Omnia provides the capital for the site. GSM doesn't always own what it operates. Increasingly, the education expertise and brand is what it's selling, not the bricks.
Yeah, this is GEMS's school management's first move into Eastern Europe, and it follows a Zanzibar announcement earlier the same month. And GEMS School Management's chief executive has said the group has signed deals for 10 further GEMS branded schools across 9 countries, with Georgia is just the first to be unveiled. And well, that actually leads us to our second story, which is also about GEMS School Management's expansion, where they're going into Jordan as well. And they've signed a framework agreement with the Aqaba Development Corporation to manage and operate Aqaba International School.
And the contrast with Georgia is the interesting part. This school already exists. Established in 2005 by the Aqaba Development Corporation, government-owned jointly by Jordan and the Aqaba Special Economic Zone Authority. Since 2015, it's been operated by Mashrek International School, an IB World School.
Yeah, so one deal is from scratch to build something with a private developer. The other is stepping to manage a school a government already owns. So same operator, 2 different routes into a market in the same month.
And that tells something about how GEMS actually grows. It's not just building new premium campuses everywhere. It's also positioning itself as an operational partner for governments that already have schools, but want the management expertise and quality assurance a global operator brings.
For Aqaba International School itself, which has emphasized intercultural awareness alongside Arab culture and tradition, this is continuity of mission with a change of operator. Whether that changes much for the current students and staff will become clearer as the agreement moves towards implementation.
Our third story is the largest single investment we've covered in the UAE this year. Aldar Education is putting up $385 million, around $105 million into relocating Cranleigh Abu Dhabi's prep and senior campus to a new site in Saadiyat Island.
Yeah, opening in the 2027-2028 academic year, just 7 minutes from the current site, right beside the existing pre-prep campus. At full capacity, it's projected to be over 2,100 students, bringing in every phase of the school into one place for the very first time.
And the facility list is substantial. You've got competition standard 50-meter pool, natural grass football pitch, 650-seat auditorium. The sixth form built specifically for students to engage with Emirati heritage and Arabic culture.
Yeah, the last one is actually worth pausing on. It's a part of a pattern we've tracked all year round, where premium British schools building Emirati identity into the architecture itself. So it's not just in the teaching, learning, and the curriculum of the school.
Well, although it's worth asking the obvious question with any announcement like this, a press release will always describe a new campus as transformative. What actually matters is whether the facilities translate for different outcomes for students. And that's something only time, not square footage, can answer.
Yeah, that's fair comment there. And what we can say is the competitive context is real because Harrow Abu Dhabi and Gordonston Abu Dhabi are both opening on neighboring islands in 2027. So Cranleigh isn't investing in isolation, it's responding to genuine new competition arriving on its doorstep.
And it sits inside a bigger Aldar story too. In May, ADEC and Aldar signed a partnership targeting a ninefold increase in UAE national representation across roles in Aldar's schools. This relocation is one part of a much larger institutional strategy, not a standalone building project.
And well, we're going to move to our fourth story now, which moves away from campuses entirely into the financial infrastructure that sustains schools, specifically Christian schools in the United States.
The Association of Christian Schools International has partnered with Redefined School Advancement, a firm that helps K-12 schools grow enrollment and strengthen financial sustainability.
Yeah, ACSI is a significant in scale. There's more than 25,000 schools across 108 countries, supporting over 5.5 million students.
This partnership is specifically about funding mechanics. Redefined helps member schools expand donor development, traditional and charitable giving, plus state and federal tax credit programs where available, with particular benefits for the association's own children's tuition fund.
The aim is pretty straightforward. Stronger fundraising infrastructure means more scholarship and financial assistance capacities for families. So Redefined Ed says it has already helped schools secure more than $100 million in scholarship funding.
So the Education Foundation president put that the underlying problem plainly: small Christian schools often carry a significant mission with genuinely limited resources to build donor support.
Yeah, that tension isn't unique to Christian schools. It's a structural challenge for any mission-driven, fee-sensitive sector without access to institutional capital. And this partnership is an attempt to build shared financial infrastructure across thousands of small institutions rather than each one solving fundraising alone.
Our final story this week brings us to Thailand, where Heathfield International School, Bangkok, has joined International Schools Partnership.
Yeah, established back in 2007 in Sapansang district, has close to 400 students. It's a British curriculum from early years through to A levels, with a particular emphasis on arts, music, and sport, led by Mr. Joseph Pine.
For ISP, this continues a steady accumulation of schools across Thailand and Southeast Asia. The group now operates 119 schools across more than 26 markets, educating over 118,000 students.
Yeah, as with our other ISP acquisitions, the framing is addition rather than transformation. Heathfield's community feel and identity are expected to grow or continue as much as before, with access to ISP's wider resources layered on top.
Bangkok's international school market is one of the most competitive anywhere right now, and we've spent much of this year tracking premium British brands arriving in the city. Heathfield's move is a reminder that established mid-sized schools are finding their own paths to stability alongside those headline openings.
And with that, brings us to the end of this week's episode.
5 different ways of answering the same question. How do you build something that lasts? Turnkey management, direct capital, shared financial infrastructure, or steady acquisition?
Yeah, there's no single right model, but every one of them is a bet on the same thing, that quality education requires real, sustained investment, just delivered in very different forms.
If there's a development in your region that we should be covering, do get in touch.
We'll be back next week with another global update. Until then, see you next time.